When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. Downtown.
Hi, I'm Ann Guest, Director of the Missoula Parking Commission, and I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to give you an overview of what the Parking Commission does. And in doing that, we're going to have you ride along with one of our parking enforcement officers, Cyndie, so that you can see more about what she does during her day. I'm going to have you talk to Geoff Badenoch, the Director of the Missoula Redevelopment Agency, and have him tell you about our exciting new parking structure that's being constructed right downtown. Also, you're going to spend a little bit of time with Linda McCarthy, the Director of the Missoula Downtown Association, and she'll talk to you about the relationship between the Missoula Parking Commission and the Downtown Association. Hope you enjoy the day.
Hi, my name is Linda McCarthy. I'm the Executive Director of the Missoula Downtown Association, and I've had the opportunity to work with the Missoula Parking Commission over the last couple of years on a number of projects. As most people know, the Parking Commission handles transportation and parking issues, mostly in the downtown area, and they do a really good job of handling a lot of different issues that we have. One of the projects that we've been working on lately is converting some lease lots to public parking. We just opened up a new park lot down by Caras Park, so if you're coming down for an event in Caras Park, there is public parking down in Caras for the first time in many, many years. And they're currently finishing up the Bank Street project, which will provide some more public parking for the downtown area, and hopefully that'll be done here in about another month or so. There are a number of projects the Parking Commission helps us with that don't necessarily deal with parking and transportation. For example, their staff helps us hang and take down 75 flower baskets every summer. Their staff cleans underneath all the tree grates. It's my understanding there are over 1,000 trees on the boulevards and sidewalks of downtown, and they go around every year and clean underneath the tree grates. They help care for the street trees. Financially, they help fund some of the maintenance costs for taking care of the trees in the downtown area. They do a significant amount of street cleaning and sidewalk cleaning, especially after those nights when the college kids have been out partying. There tends to be a lot of garbage in the streets and in the gutters, so they do a good job of helping keep the downtown clean in a lot of different ways. The Parking Commission also helps us with funding some special projects. For example, they help fund the Out to Lunch shuttle that brings people downtown for Out to Lunch so that we don't have to provide parking for the 3,000 or so people that come to Out to Lunch. They've also helped us fund some other special projects, transportation-wise, whether it be shuttles or marketing for programs that we do, things like that. They're a very cooperative department. They're kind of a quasi-governmental department in a lot of ways, because while they're a department of the city, they're sort of stand on their own. They have their own board of directors and their own staff, and they're located sort of outside of City Hall. And so it's a little bit different than working with a regular department within the city government. They're very community-oriented and very supportive of a lot of things that we do. Sometimes during the holidays, like for example, the day after Thanksgiving is the biggest shopping day of the year, and so as a way to just kind of spread a little cheer, instead of giving parking tickets on those days, their staff passes out little ho-ho-ho tickets, they call them, and they they're just sort of friendly reminders about parking and the fees that you pay that go with that. Parking's always an issue downtown. It's an issue in every downtown, and it's a sign of a healthy downtown, because if you didn't have a parking problem, that would mean that nobody's coming downtown. And so in a lot of ways, while it's frustrating for some people, we're fortunate to have, a parking problem, because that again means that we have a healthy downtown. Sometimes people think that we should remove all the meters in the downtown area, but that would create a significant problem. People compare us to places like Bozeman or Kalispell where they have removed all their meters. But if we took all the meters out of downtown, what that would mean is that all the downtown employees would park on the streets, and there'd be no means of getting them off the streets, and then there'd be no customer traffic because the customers wouldn't be able to find any place to park. And then if there's no customer traffic, there would be no customers, and there'd be no money exchanging hands, and the downtown area would die. And I think, when you look at places like Bozeman and Kalispell, those are some of the issues that they're struggling with, because, all their employees are parked on the streets, and that's reducing the amount of customer traffic that they have. And economically speaking, it's not a very good decision. Sometimes people have come up with the idea of creating sort of a walking plaza for downtown pedestrians, similar to what downtown Helena is like in the Last Chance Gulch area. And we've talked about the potential possibility of doing something like that, but the problem here in Missoula is that you've got state highway traffic on Higgins, and you've got state highway traffic on Broadway. And if you're going to close down a street, you're probably going to cross over one of those two highways, and the State Department wouldn't allow it. So the best place to do it would probably be to do it on North Higgins, north of Broadway. But when you look at the retail mix up there, it's not as conducive to pedestrian walking as, say, the retail mix on the south side of Broadway on Higgins or on Main and Front. So it's something that we've looked at and talked about, but it's not very practical for our downtown, because Broadway and Higgins and of course Orange Street are all interstate highways. The Parking Commission is helping us put together a park and ride program for downtown employees. We have probably maybe 5,000 or 6,000 employees in the downtown area, and Missoula's grown to the point where it's time for us to start thinking about parking on the perimeter of the downtown area and transit traffic, buses or trolleys or carpool type situations into the core of the area, because the last thing you want to do is build a great big parking structure in the middle of your downtown that's prime real estate and very expensive, and the more cars you put downtown, the less foot traffic you'll have, because the less foot friendly it'll be. So it's important for us to be thinking about parking and what it means for a downtown and how it affects the downtown area. And we're very lucky that we have a parking commission that's so proactive and supportive of the projects that we do. So next time you come downtown and you're thinking about that meter increase, just remember that that's a lot cheaper to park in Missoula than it is to park in Spokane or San Francisco or Seattle. And if you do go over limit, it's only a $2 ticket, and that's really not very expensive either. So we're pretty lucky that the fees are pretty nominal, and we have a really healthy downtown. And we invite all of you to come downtown and take a look around and let us know if there's something there that you like.
They play paradise, put up a parking lot with a big hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot.
Hi, I'm Geoff Badenoch. I'm the director of the city's redevelopment agency and project manager on the Bank Street parking deck project. The parking deck is being constructed behind me here, and when it's completed, it will add an additional 82 parking spaces to the downtown parking inventory, in addition to 71 long-term parking spaces. The location of this parking deck was very carefully selected because it will offer additional parking right downtown where we need it. This parking deck will service the businesses in the area and will also provide people who attend movies and concerts and other performances at the Wilma building, at the Wilma Theater, a convenient place to park. One of the most important issues that we face downtown is the use of surface area for parking lots. I don't think that we'll probably ever see in the future surface lots built in downtown again, simply because the real estate's become too valuable. In this case, with this project, we're adding a second level of parking on what was originally an existing parking lot. That's a more efficient use of downtown space, particularly for something like parking, which, although it's a necessity, is not a big economic engine. It's a secondary economic influence downtown. The people who have stores and offices need parking, but parking itself does not generate any economic activity, but it does support those businesses that do. This project was envisioned as part of the Millennium Building project and came about as a partnership between First Interstate Bank, the City of Missoula Parking Commission, and the Missoula Redevelopment Agency. Together, we were able to combine our resources to create this new public structure. One of the key features to the structure, which is up above the parking deck, is what we're right now calling the Bank Street Pedestrian Mall. Eventually, it will have another name. But this is going to be Missoula's newest urban space, and it will feature a water feature, art, landscaping, benches, places for people to sit and congregate. There'll even be some tables, one of which will have a checkerboard built into it. So at noontime, if people want to come down and play a game of checkers or chess in the sunshine, we'll have a place for them to do it right down here downtown. In all, this particular piece of property, once it's developed, will have a value of over $2.5 million. That value would not have been able to be realized if it hadn't been for our ability to form partnerships between the Redevelopment Agency, the Parking Commission, and our private sector partners, First Interstate Bank, and the Millennium Building partners. We expect this project to be done close to this season's Christmas shopping season, and we're hoping that everybody who wants to shop downtown will come find their way to the Bank Street parking deck and use it. So, coming to you live from the construction site in downtown Missoula of the Bank Street parking deck project, the Bank Street Pedestrian Mall, this is Geoff Badenoch signing off. Now, as one last treat, we're about to take you on a ride with one of the hardest working women downtown, Cyndie, the meter maid, as she goes about and shows you how she does what she does.
Lovely Rita, meter maid, nothing can come between us. When it gets dark, I tow your heart away. Standing by a parking meter, when I caught a glimpse of Rita, filling in the...
Sometimes something happens in there and it's something simple. Yeah, the meter number's on there, the location, officer number, everything you need to know. And you just go in the garage, take your pink ticket into the office, and they'll validate it, and they'll send the guy out to fix it, and you don't have to pay it. Okay. See ya.
When are you free to take some tea with me? Rita!
This is a short-term 20-minute zone.
Okay.
You gotta have a permit on this one. It says permit required. There are loading zones around town that you do not need a permit in. The general public can use them.
Okay.
And there's a 20-minute limit on any loading. So, that's that.
Sitting on the sofa with a sister or two. Oh, lovely Rita, meter maid, where would I be without you?
What happens is we go through, we mark the tires, and each one of us has different areas that we mark the tire, kind of like our signature. We do that in order to check how long someone stays in the same space. It's to promote turnover in the area. In our general downtown area, it's primarily 2 hours, 30-minute, 15-minute meters. So you want to make sure that this traffic is moving within those time limits, and anybody that stays longer in that space will receive an overtime fine.
Okay.
It's very important to keep turnover in the downtown area. Okay, this is our new Mighty machine down in New Park Lot, the new public lot. There are about 120 spaces in this lot, about 110 availability for the public when they come down for to lunch or various functions in the tent, or to go over to the carousel to use a lot of the Riverside downtown businesses. It's very inexpensive. It talks.
How did it,
It's got a motion sensor.
motion sensor, okay.
Motion sensor so that it senses somebody coming, and then it speaks to you, and it tells you that when you come here, you enter your license plate number. So what you do is you come up, you enter your license plate number. So it's kind of like a keno machine, a light, gentle touch. Okay.
1, 2, 2, 3.
Okay, so I made a mistake. I want to erase that 3, put a 2 there. So I hit the backspace key. 2. Okay, that's correct right now. So I hit the next button.
On the screen.
I'm going to stay 1 hour. It will cost me 25 cents.
25 cents.
So I put the quarter in. Very quietly, it prints a little receipt.
Thank you.
And it's so polite.
It's very polite, speaks to you, and this is your little receipt. If your license plate number is correct on there, you can just stick it in your purse, your pocket, whatever, and walk away. A lot of cities have them where you need to leave them on the dash of your car, but we don't expect that. If you get your license plate in there, that's all you need. Hey.
I think she deserves a good person award.
Hey, thanks.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Okay.
Well, let's talk about that. Since Ann had mentioned that basically the meter maids are the ambassadors for the parking commission. So go ahead and tell me about some of that. Some of what what you think that means.
Well, we are the first front of what we do. We're the people that are there that write you the ticket. We're the ones that have to explain to you why you got it. We're the ones that you encounter first if you have a problem. And our job isn't to give you a ticket and to be vicious and mean. Our job, I feel, is to help to educate you, to help you not to get tickets, to guide you in the direction you need to go, to find out where you need to park for the least amount of money, what your options are. And we're here to help you. I mean, it is true that we do write tickets. We do try to free up parking for the many, many thousands of people that visit here, every day. And that's not something that's an easy thing to do, but in the meantime, we do helpful little things for people all the time. Like I was telling you earlier, as we're marking tires, we frequently are the first people to notice somebody's getting a flat tire. It could mean they get on the interstate, they could have a blowout, without the knowledge that their passenger rear tire was going flat. We leave little notes, things like that. Somebody's losing gas in their car. I used to always push people out of ditches in the wintertime, but as far as liability goes, I can't do that if I get caught.
Right.
I'll do it, but I'll probably get caught.
Yeah.
There's a wide variety of things that we do. Mostly try to help people understand why it is we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. That you're not just doing it to get them.
No, and that's the thing I think that in a lot of cities people are always amazed by how friendly and kind we are, helpful. Like I've had people come up, there were a group of guys up by the Ritz one day from Alaska that were going, I'm going to plug this meter in front of you. And I said, great. And he said, what, that's not going to make you mad? And I said, absolutely not. I think that's great when you can help somebody out. So he thought that was pretty strange, and so then he goes up to the next car and he goes, I want to get this one too, but I don't have any money. And so I reached in my pocket and I said, I have a lot of money. You want some money? And he goes, you'd give me money to put in somebody's meter you don't even know? And I said, of course, I'm a person. Just because I'm a meter maid doesn't mean that I'm not a human being that I can't share. And he was just, could not believe that, because where he's from, you're wrong. You have a ticket, you're wrong, that's the end of the story. And it's not, no, you're not going to go plug other people's meters. And we're not like that here. We like to promote kindness, we like to be helpful. And I think that most people that know us would, say that we are very fair, that we are helpful. And sometimes we're kind of crazy and funny, You have to be to do this. One day I came down here and it was out to lunch.
Yeah.
And there was thousands of people down here. I think it was Ed Norton Big Band was playing, which is my favorite one. It was so jazzy. But anyway, just loaded with people. And at that point, we didn't have this public lot. We didn't have public parking down here. It was strictly lease lots, right? So everybody was pretty crowded. It's probably about 92 degrees, and this guy just went nuts on me. Just totally screaming and yelling. Well, what kind of person was I to have this out to lunch going on down here and this carousel down here? And that, you know, I was going to give him a place to park, you know, and he just would not be quiet. He just would not be quiet. I was trying to explain to him, find a meter on the street and you get 2 hours of free parking. We're very generous with out-of-staters here, you know.
Yeah.
But you need to leave this area. There is no parking for you right here.
Because it was leased parking.
Yeah. It was where the workforce, we moved the workforce off the streets to provide availability up at the stores and at the government offices. So we moved them down here before any of this was here. You know, so it's kind of hard to vacate, you know, 500 people from a parking space they've had for 10 years. You know, where are you going to put them? So anyway, he was just going nuts, and I had reached this point that I thought, okay, I can't handle this anymore. You know, I'm either going to lose my temper or I'm going to have to get smart with this guy. So I said, all right, sir, I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm going to tell you something. And I have to be really honest with you. See all these cars parked down here? He goes, yes. And I said, well, I have to admit, I knew you were coming to town today. So before I came to work, I single-handedly came down here and parked every single car down here so that you, personally, just you, would have no place to park. And he looked at me and he went, and just burst out laughing. He couldn't believe that he was actually being that ignorant. You know? But, I mean, I didn't know at that point what the outcome was going to be. You know, because that could have been a very serious mistake.
But then he was fine.
Oh yeah, he was hysterical after that. He was really nice. Because then he realized that, you know, that was the only way I could find to reach him, to get him to listen. That it really wasn't something I created personally for him.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know if anybody else would think that was funny, but I thought it was fabulous. I'm sorry, but I'll get some tomorrow and bring them to you, because I'm in this area tomorrow. Okay. See, they even know the bone lady. Okay, so now where would you like to go?
So let's, you got any more funny stories?
Oh, geez. There've been millions. There's the one that I was talking with you about with Ann. See, I don't know if people would think they're funny. I
thought that one was funny.
I think they're funny. One day I'm down on the 100 block of Main Street, and I write this ticket. I'm down a couple of cars, and all of a sudden I hear bam, bam, bam. You know, it sounds like gunshots. And so of course, you know, you stop and you're listening, and I look, and it's coming from this little Volkswagen that's parked, you know, a couple spaces from the end. And I thought, well, I better go check out. So I go over there, and here's this woman on the inside of her car taking cans of tuna fish out of this bag. Apparently she just went shopping. Out of this bag and just blasting them at the inside of her windshield. And I had written a ticket on that car. You know, so I went up to the window and I said, excuse me, are you all right? And she's just going nuts. You know, and I'm going, hey, you know, excuse me, but you're damaging your windshield. You know, do you understand that? And she's going, just get away from my car. And I said, you know, I'm having a real hard time leaving here now. Is there something I can do to help you calm down? And she goes, I am so sick of this. And I said, what? And she said, you want me to ticket? And I said, yes. And she said, this is about the 6th ticket I've gotten on this car. And I said, really? Oh, well, I just wrote you one. And she said, well, my daughter has had my car and she's gotten several tickets on here and I just can't stand it anymore. And it's like, my God, what do you do when you get your power bill? You know, you need to calm down. And then eventually she did. She was okay, but
so she was
the front of her windshield had cracks all over the front of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, over a $2 ticket.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, there's other times, like one time I remember I was going up Higgins Street, and for some reason, you know, you have those moments in your life when you notice something and you feel something from it. So I see this car growing across Broadway. Woo. And for some reason, I saw the woman's face, and she just looked like she was about ready to burst into tears, but she was a half a block away from me. You know, why I was able to see that, I don't know. And I just thought, oh, geez, I hope she doesn't park anywhere in my area, you know, because it looks like she's having a really bad day. So I turn the corner and I'm headed down across the street from the post office, and sure as heck, there she is. She parks the car, second meter, and there's no money in it. So I'm out there.
So you got to give her a ticket.
And I have to write her a ticket. I mean, I can't drive by a meter violation.
You got to do your job.
Yeah, you don't drive
As
by.
scary as it might get.
Yeah, you don't drive by anything, because the minute you do, somebody that you did write a ticket is on the phone going, she's got, doing favors for her friends and stuff. So you never ever compromise your integrity on anything. If it's your best friend, your husband, your mother, your dad, they get a ticket.
Right.
And they should know better because they're related to you. You can't do that. So anyway, I have to write this ticket, and the whole time I'm hoping that she doesn't come out. I want her to come out. So out she comes, and you could just see the seething and the rage beginning, She comes up to the car, and she looks like she's just gonna burst into tears, and I said, hey, how you doing? And she just glared at me like, I will kill you any second. And I said, hey, tell you what, will you do me a favor? And she just continued glaring, and I said, could you just give me your very best smile? And she looked at me like I was totally nuts, right? Like, yeah, right, I'm giving you a ticket. You're giving me a ticket. Hi, Vanny. And you want me to give you a smile? Are you nuts? And I said, no, I'm serious. Just kind of move the corner of this side of your face and then the corner of this side. Just give me your best smile, just for the heck of it. So she said, all right. So I did it, or she did it. And she just stood there staring at the smile on her face. And I said, okay, so, doesn't that feel better? And she said, well, better than what? And I said, better than the way that you felt. I could tell earlier that there was something happening with you, and I don't know what it is. So I think that my gift to you today will be that I'm not going to give you this ticket, but you have to promise me you're going to smile for the rest of the day. And it made me feel so good to do that. And I went in and told on myself right away, told Ann right away, and
didn't give someone a ticket.
Yeah, and the thing that had happened is she was served with divorce papers that morning. Her home life was down the tubes now. And so it was a good thing.
Maybe it's been there for well over a week, and I don't think it's moved at all.
225 Adams.
Yeah.
Okay.
So would you mark it or something?
Yep, I'm going to go mark it right now, and then if it
Thanks.
doesn't move, I'll turn it in.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Okay.
What does it look like?
It's looks
It's
like
a
a hippie
van.
van, and it says Grateful Dead on the.
Is it silver?
No, it's sort of orangish and black.
Okay.
Right in front of
I'll
our
go get
building.
it. I'll get it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so
it's
what
things
was
like
that? She was giving
That's a complaint about
an abandoned
vehicle, and that happens a lot. A lot of times they don't know who to call. Typically those things go through the traffic division of the police department. And like when we will go mark the tire, and we're the ones. They also do it. The police accident investigators also check on abandoned vehicles when people make complaints. But typically they come and tell us, or we discover them just through the course of our marking tires.
Right.
And noticing that the vehicles aren't moving.
Right.
And then after they've been there 72 hours without moving, then we can turn them in as abandoned. So we are going to 229 Adams, which should be right on this block. Orange hippie van. Hippie not necessarily being bad.
Right. It's all in your perspective.
Doesn't say Led Zeppelin, it says the Beatles.
It's the Beatles.
Okay, so
Hang on.
we're gonna, Grateful Dead on the front. We can mark any part of the tire we want, front, rear, back, upside down. So now that's marked, and then
Okay.
when I go back to my office, we have a little sheet that we write stuff on to share information with each other, because we rotate areas every day.
Okay.
So then the people that follow on this area will know to be checking to see if that vehicle's still there, or if it's rolled and come back to this spot.
Okay, and then how long are you going to let it sit here for before you tow it?
can be there for 72 hours before we turn it in, so we'll turn it in on probably Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's
Sunday.
not up to you. It's the...
Yeah. And
Okay.
sometimes it takes a while to have a vehicle removed, but usually, as soon as they put the orange sticker on the window that says your vehicle will be impounded,
They
move.
Okay.
You know, it's probably somebody that lives in this area.
And
Like-
they've been probably, it's not that it's abandoned, they probably use it as a parking space.
Yeah, and there are lots and lots of apartment buildings over in that area.
Okay.
A lot of kids stay
So
in.
this
There's
isn't,
no
they
parking.
can't use this area for parking space, even though it looks residential.
See, this is a residential area. Where this car is parked is not a timed area. Right up here is a 2-hour area.
Okay.
But here it isn't. But if it is parked in front of a residence, has not moved, within 72 hours, they consider it abandoned.
Okay.
So, as long if you need to park your car somewhere, you just need to move it occasionally. There's lots of little things that can really be helpful to know. So we also monitor the library here.
So your route changes all the time, right?
Yeah, our route changes every day. It used to be that we had 2 people that were stationary downtown, one person that did the lots, Hellgate High, and the university.
Yeah.
And now all 3 of us rotate areas every day, which
Yeah.
really, it was one of our past officers' ideas to do that. Yeah, and see, and the way that it happens on the 3-person rotation, during certain years, your holidays always seem to fall on the same days. So it ended up being last year that our holidays always fell on the days that I would have the downtown areas.
Oh, yeah.
So it seemed like I was always at the university or out in the lots. See, that's the thing I love about this job.
You
is
know
that I'm
so
a
many
meter
people.
maid, and I know so many people, and I spend most of my time waving.
I am amazed at
or
how many
talking.
people wave and talk to you and know you by name.
Oh yeah, and they're always very nice to me.
Yeah.
You know, I occasionally engage, with somebody, but like I was telling these kids, when was it? I guess it was about a week ago down in New Park. They were trying to give me some grief, and I said, the one thing that always amazes me when people do what you're doing right now is that you guys just don't understand what I'm like. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, when people go nuts on me, that's when I'm at my best.
Yeah.
I love that, because if I can control myself when I'm dealing with the most difficult person in the United States, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
And it helps to sharpen my survival skills and my speaking skills and my coping skills. And I can come up with some amazing things to say to you that are totally friendly and kind. But
Well, how long have you been doing it?
13 years, a
You're
little
the
over
longest
13.
Meter, yeah, because you're
Of
so
this
many
era.
people know you of this era.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
13
Erlene,
years.
Redhead Erlene was, I think, the longest so far.
But I heard she was quite the firecracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good. Now,
Well,
did she
somebody-
retire or did she move?
No, she retired. She's still around. And she was actually really funny. Once you got to know her, she was absolutely hysterical. But you didn't want to give her any grief.
Yeah.
There was no messing with her. She'd line you out, and right now, you'd be lined out.
I like that.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Right,
Actually.
so let's see, what else? You got any more funny stories?
Well, I have some, but I don't know if they're publishable.
Well, just
Can I tell
me.
you one private?
Well, how about if you tell me, and then if I think
And you
it's
can
really
edit it
bad,
out?
Yeah.
Okay, because it involves a woman that decided that because of my badge, that she really liked me. Two county lots that we patrol.
Okay.
$15 tickets in those lots. That's private parking. You have to have a county permit in order to park in there. These up here are a section of our 10-hour meters. On the north end of town, we have a lot of these.
Okay.
We also have some in the loop on Patty that goes down by the Holiday Inn and then down East Front, 200 East Front. And these meters have a yellow band on the top. That helps you to indicate that those are 10-hour meters. These are meters you can sit at all day long. You can plug them. You know, when you come to work, whether it's 6 in the morning, you know, or 8, you can plug them for the entire day. You get 2.5 hours for a quarter. It's by far the cheapest parking in town, and you don't need to move. That's another nice luxury. You do usually have to walk a little bit, a couple of blocks to use these spaces, but in the long run, a couple of blocks won't hurt you, and it'll save you a lot of money. Yeah, save you a lot of money.
Okay. So then the MCAT, is that a county lot that we're in also?
No, that
how
is...
can you guys go through that? That's a paid lot.
That is a lease lot. That is a lot that is owned, and well, whoever owns it then contracted us to monitor the parking in there. So we're responsible for maintaining that lot, you know, with the asphalt, the striping, the signage, and the parking.
Okay, well that's kind of interesting. So you guys get hired by private enterprises that own parking lots to maintain for them. But the fee...
There has to be a contract.
Oh, okay.
It's a contract in order to have those services, because like the police department can go onto private property anywhere, write tickets, you know. In order for us to issue citations on private property, there has to be a legal contractual agreement. And apparently, you know, I'm not up on the statistics like Ann. She knows all the, you know, price per inch of the asphalt and how much it costs to line things and how much signage is. Excuse me, but apparently all of those things are fairly expensive. Yeah. You know, to maintain an empty lot actually does cost money, so.
You wouldn't think it. Most people wouldn't think that it would be expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's just like an empty piece of asphalt. That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You gotta pay taxes and all that, but you know.
But you also have to pay someone to maintain it. So that's probably the biggest, is paying someone like you guys to go and keep an eye on.
You know, and then whoever owns this is gonna want to come out here every day and clean up broken glass out of the lot, you know.
You guys have to do that too?
Yeah, we have a maintenance crew that not only does the meters, they pick up trash and clean out our parking lots, and they're always doing something. Digging picking rocks. They have to do all kinds of stuff. It's not, you know, an easy job by any means. Yeah. They work pretty hard.
But it's a fun job. I've decided your job is really fun.
My job is wonderful.
I've decided that, because my job is really fun too, but I decided if I'm not going to do this job anymore, that I would like to do your job.
Yeah, you would.
You're outside, and you're outside and it's nice, and the weather's nice, and even in the winter it's still pretty.
Yeah, you know, once you learn how to dress, it's a piece of cake. I love every season that we have. I'm so glad that I live here.
Yeah,
you know?
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and once you learn how to dress, you enjoy every season there. It's how you guide. And the people in this community are so much nicer than in a lot of places. And I think, you know, also the fact that our fines aren't that high and that we're not as restrictive as a lot of cities are when it comes to, you know, whether you can put money in your friend's meter or not.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more of a friendly environment for doing this job. I think doing this job
in a big city would suck.
In big city would suck, and probably even in Kalispell.
Yeah.
Their meter violations in Kalispell are $20.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and Kalispell is not big city.
No.
You know, so I'd say that we're still, you know, in the comfort zone as far as money.
Okay, well let's head back because I got about 5 minutes worth of tape. Now, how fast do these little babies get to?
This one will go up to 85 miles an hour. The one.
You're kidding.
Lovely Rita, meter maid, nothing can come between us. When it gets dark, I tow your heart away.
Hey, thanks for coming along with me today. And now I'd like to introduce you to Ann Guest, our illustrious leader of the Missoula Parking Commission. She will tell you about what happens within our organization.
Hi, I'm Ann Guest, Director of the Missoula Parking Commission, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the Missoula Parking Commission and what service we provide for Missoula's downtown. When I say the Missoula Parking Commission, a lot of people think about meter maids and tickets. Well, we do that, but we do a lot more than that, and I'm hoping to describe to you some of those other services we provide. The mission for the Missoula Parking Commission is to provide and manage parking and parking alternatives. It's pretty simple, but let me go through those points and I can describe to you how each one affects our downtown program. When I say we have to provide parking, that means our inventory, and we do that in a number of ways. One way is by managing our on-street parking. We have about 1,100 parking meters throughout the downtown. 100 of those are 10-hour meters that are designed for employees to park during the day at a very low rate. The rest of them are basically 2-hour meters that help with the turnover and availability for short-term shoppers. Another way we provide inventory is in our off-street lots. We have approximately 14 off-street lots, and they're designed for downtown employees to park their cars during the day when they're at work. These are for employees who don't need to access their vehicles throughout the day so that they can park them up to 8 hours. We also have our parking structure, Central Park, located at 128 West Main. It's a beautiful structure right in the heart of downtown that offers both short-term and long-term parking at a very reasonable rate. We have a new facility down in the riverfront area adjacent to the carousel called New Park Lot, and that is all short-term parking lot to accommodate the demand for the carousel and New Park Lot. Right now we're also in the process of building a $2 million structure that's just south of First Interstate Bank between the Millennium Building and the Higgins Avenue Bridge. It will have 151 parking spaces. 82 of those are new short-term public parking spaces that will be controlled by a multi-space machine. So that's how we're providing parking for the downtown customer. We also manage parking through a variety of means. Through our parking enforcement officers, they monitor the meters and make sure people are turning over. We also have a variety of programs like our loading zone program that help facilitate the collection and delivery of goods and services into the downtown. The last part of our mission statement is to provide alternative transportation or parking alternatives for the downtown. We do this in cooperation with Missoula in Motion, Missoula River Valley Transportation Management Association, and a few other agencies that are providing alternatives to bringing your car down to the downtown area. They look at van pools, car pools, shuttles, looking at employer incentives to help their employees carpool and so forth. One example that the Parking Commission does with that is with our Out to Lunch program. Every Wednesday during the summer, there's a 2-hour concert in the Caras Park area, and we provide funding to help co-sponsor a shuttle for that event. We get about 2,500 people coming to that event, and we can't possibly handle the demand of that, but what we can do is provide some alternatives to help mitigate that demand. So between providing parking, managing it, and providing alternatives, the Parking Commission helps provide good service to the Missoula's downtown and helps keep Missoula's downtown an exciting and vibrant place to be. I'd like to thank you for providing this opportunity for me to be able to explain to you about the Missoula Parking Commission and its program. And we just have to understand that we're all here together to help provide an exciting place in Missoula's downtown to come and stop, shop, and have a good time. Thank you.
Don't hang around and let your problems surround you. There are movie shows downtown. Maybe you know some little places to go to where they never close. Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them to be much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown, where